coming up on BCN Today. Families of the victims of the Humboldt Broncos bus crash say they're upset by possible changes to trucking regulations. A new report reveals startling numbers as to how many Albertans are dying from opioids. And a special festival is coming up this Friday in Lethbridge to combat racism.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, thanks for joining us on this Thursday. Several families affected by the deadly Humboldt Broncos hockey bus crash say that they're upset by an Alberta review into its trucking regulations. Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba introduced mandatory training for truck and bus drivers after the crash in April of 2018. But Alberta Transportation Minister Rick McGeiger says the province is thinking about relaxing those rules for school bus drivers and for farmers, because farmers have complained that they're losing money and can't keep drivers because of the stringent rules. Families of the 16 people who died and the 13 who were injured took to social media to criticize the review, which they called disgusting and ridiculous. Toby Boulay, who lost his son Logan, said, quote, "I thought it was solved, but it's not solved because economics have gotten in the way of lives." A new report by Alberta Health on our province's drug crisis says on average 2 Albertans die every day from fentanyl-related overdoses. In total, 305 people have died from an opioid poisoning so far in 2019. Most victims are men aged 25 to 40. The number of fentanyl-related deaths in Lethbridge, however, is down slightly. The report says between January and the end of June of this year, there were 11 deaths. As for visits to the supervised consumption sites, the report says Lethbridge still leads the way with about 20,000 visits per month. The Alberta Union of Provincial Employees continues to picket Bill 9 across the province. The union plans to hold another information picket in Lethbridge to protest the Public Sector Wage Arbitration Deferral Act, which was put in place by Premier Jason Kenney. AUPE says the bill is bad news for workers and for Albertans because of cuts to provincial employees' salaries and jobs. While a recent court ruling allowed Bill 9 to proceed, AUPE's battle isn't over yet. The next picket will be held tomorrow during the noon hour at 4401 University Drive outside of the U of L. Orange Shirt Day activities were postponed on Monday because of the snowstorm, but Lethbridge College has made up for it with a week-long public exhibit. BCN's Loris Alexander was at the unveiling of the educational exhibit at the college.
Orange Shirt Day is an annual display of support and remembrance for people who were taken from their families and sent to residential schools.
This day is important because it recognizes the children specifically. From residential schools, we try to make sure we honor knowing from place, learning from place every day. So this day is specifically about the children, but the college, it's important because we live this. We're in Blackfoot territory. Indigenous and non-Indigenous students and faculty and staff here on campus, that's every day.
Thousands of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit children were removed from their homes and forced to attend residential schools. The last residential school in Canada closed in 1996.
You had no choice. You just had to send your children because it's a culmination of a few other areas too. You know, you had the government coming out of the treaty process and starting to force the Indigenous people onto their reservations, and they couldn't leave the reservations unless they had a pass, so they weren't able to interact with their traditional territory.
3 national traveling displays and exhibits that speak to residential schools are currently at the Lethbridge College.
The exhibit was actually brought through our dean, Dr. Janine Weber. She made contact with them. This exhibit is traveling around the country currently, and she got in touch with them, and Lowell got in touch with them, and we said, could we possibly have it here at the college for a little bit of time? We've got it for a week. So we've actually just been talking about how do we bring something more permanent to the college based on this exhibit.
So those are on loan from the Legacy of Hope Foundation, and that's not-for-profit organization located in Ottawa that loans out exhibits to host institutions like Lethbridge College.
For Bridge City News, I'm Loris Alexander.
Thank you, Loris. A student from Winston Churchill High School has spearheaded an event that is set to bring hundreds of people together. The Northern Lights Festival is coming up. BCN's Ainsley O'Reilly tells us what we can expect to see.
Last year, as an 11th grade student at Winston Churchill High School, Isabel Crown took part in an international potluck. She also saw that students from her school were being discriminated against.
I wanted to a place where people can feel safe and that they know that other people there are going to respect them for what they believe and what they do, and a place where you can understand that everyone is a human being and that they have their own choice and we have the freedom to believe and practice what we want to believe.
The event is set for Friday from noon until 5 p.m. The whole community is invited to enjoy various food trucks, entertainment, and city groups. The Northern Lights Festival has a motto.
It starts with a handshake. And so basically that represents how important it is for us that you can just go up to someone and say, "Hi, my name's Isabel. It's nice to meet you." And you gain that mutual connection.
I'm looking forward to the food, honestly. That's my thing. But the dancing, the music, everything, just the general sense of community, I think is going to be an amazing part of this event.
I feel like it's just a good way for me to experience other cultures, their food, and I just think it's really cool. It's made by the Winston Churchill and I really want to support that.
Isabel is excited to get conversations started.
Sometimes you see people in different views and you see them wearing a headdress or different garments and you don't understand why, and so we wanted to provide a place where you can go up to. We've invited different people and whoever would like to come can come and they can set up a booth and you can go and introduce yourself and get to know more about their religion and why they do the things they do. And so it's a way of having a mutual and respectful conversation and just getting to learn more about them.
For Bridge City News, I'm Ainsley O'Reilly.
Lethbridge College has been ranked #1 in the nation in women's cross country. The first rankings of the season came while the Kodiaks are on a week off from competition. The men's team placed 5th. The ACAC Women's Provincial Championships will be taking place on the final weekend of October. Although cross country is an individual sport, the rankings are tallied for the whole group.
Every single athlete on the team, especially the top 4, those are the athletes that actually score points, have a really, really important role. And so right now what we try to do, especially in practice, is simulate the conditions that they face in races, right? Where they might have somebody from Red Deer College right next to them. They might have somebody from Red Deer College behind them or ahead of them. And generating an awareness of what that means and teaching the skills to be able to respond to changes in the field.
Well, we have morning practices, and which is just working out, and then we have evening running, which is really hard sometimes. And yeah, I think all our team just puts a lot of effort into it, and that's why we're at the top right now.
The CCAA Women's National Championships kick off in Grand Prairie on November the 9th. A former Edmonton bar employee accused of sexually assaulting 13 women pleaded not guilty at his jury trial. 29-year-old Matthew McKnight was charged following allegations from the women between 2010 and 2016. The women ranged in age from 17 to 22. 12 of the 13 women are expected to testify. A couple in Edmonton is facing child abandonment charges after a baby was discovered alone in a parked vehicle outside of a casino. Police said they followed up on a complaint Monday night. They were told casino security staff found a baby about 18 months old inside of a vehicle. They were able to get the cold child out since the windows were left 3/4 of the way open. Police say the child's parents were found inside the casino. A Toronto meat packing company is recalling dozens of raw beef and veal products produced on May 27th and the 30th due to possible E. coli contamination. Restaurants, retailers, distributors, and manufacturers are being told to not serve, use, or sell the recalled products from riding Regency meat packers. Last month, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency suspended the company's license over compliance concerns. During last night's Quebec's French language debate, topics like abortion, the environment, and Quebec's controversial secularism law dominated the questions. Conservative leader Andrew Shearer spent a great deal of time in the hot seat over his personal position on abortion. Shearer suggested that when it comes to climate change, Liberal leader Justin Trudeau is a fraud, noting that he uses a second plane to ferry campaign cargo. Meanwhile, Liberal leader Justin Trudeau was the first to get back out campaigning this morning following the debate. Trudeau spoke to reporters on Montreal streets this morning, fielding questions about his commitment to fighting climate change in light of the questions last night about his party's 2 campaign planes. He says the Liberals have bought carbon offsets for his travel, and he says the Conservatives have not.
As we did in 2015, we have a cargo plane on top of our regular plane because it allows us to do more events in more parts of the country and meet more Canadians. It's an important part of our national campaign to meet as many people as possible. But like we did in 2015, we purchased carbon offsets for all our transportation, planes and buses. And I will highlight that Andrew Shearer and his Conservatives did not purchase carbon offsets for their transportation because they think pollution should be free.
Look, I don't understand why he needs 2 planes. We've got the one. We have lots of space for luggage and equipment. I don't know what types of props or costumes or camping equipment he's bringing along with him, but he's made his choice that he thinks it's okay to emit far more emissions than our campaign is emitting. And so we're going to continue to hold him account for his hypocrisy. It's always the same with this guy. He's always really quick at giving lessons and lectures and sermons about how everyone else should live their lives. And when it comes to his own personal behavior, he's a complete hypocrite.
The NDP's Jagmeet Singh is in Toronto, where he's hoping to take seats back from the Liberals, while Conservative Andrew Shearer is campaigning in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia today. On the campaign trail, Shearer promised to reduce Canada's foreign aid by 25%. And one of our regular political contributors, Brian Lilly, agrees with Shearer's promise, especially when those tax-paying dollars are going to communist regimes.
Can you believe that we've given $7 million to China in the last year, that we've given millions of dollars to North Korea? I think it's about $5 million to North Korea. We've given millions to Iran. We've given $200,000 to Vladimir Putin's Russia. I mean, sure, it's only $200,000, but why are we giving any money to Putin's Russia?
Brian Lilly will have more on what the leaders are promising and the latest poll numbers as we inch closer to the federal election. That interview is coming up in the second half of our show. In the U.S., House Democratic leaders accused U.S. President Donald Trump of incitement to violence. They warned him not to intimidate the whistleblower or potential witnesses in their impeachment inquiry.
Let's not make any mistake here. The president wants to make this all about the whistleblower and suggest people that come forward with evidence of his wrongdoing are somehow treasonous and should be treated as traitors and spies. This is a blatant effort to intimidate witnesses. It's an incitement to violence. And I would hope, and we're starting to see members of both parties speaking out against attacking this whistleblower or others that have pertinent information.
The intelligence community recognizes the importance of whistleblowers. Protecting whistleblowers who see wrongdoing of any kind in our government is essential. The president probably doesn't realize how dangerous his statements are when he says he wants to expose who the whistleblower is and those who may have given the whistleblower that information.
Amber Geiger, a white Dallas police officer, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for fatally shooting her unarmed black neighbor, Botham Jean, in his home. The victim's brother told her that he has no ill will against her and hugged Geiger in court after the sentence was read.
I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. Because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
It's been reported that 4 police officers have died in a knife attack inside a Paris police headquarters near Notre Dame Cathedral before the attacker was shot and killed. A union official says an administrator at the police headquarters was responsible for the attack, which appears to have begun in an office and continued in other parts of the large police compound. The union official says the employee had worked there for 20 years and apparently never posed any problems in the past. It's wonderful to see the sunshine and warmer temperatures in the Southwest, but it looks like that trend might change by next week. Weather details are on deck following the break, so keep it right here. Welcome back. Here's a look at your weather highlights locally in Lethbridge for today and tomorrow. Lots of sunshine today, high of 8 degrees, a low down to 0 degrees this evening. Tomorrow, a chance of sun and cloud mixture there with a high of 10 and a low down to 1 degree. Looking to our 5-day forecast, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, tons of sunshine in the forecast here. Look at this. Saturday, 10 degrees, Sunday, 13 degrees, Monday up to 17 degrees. But look what's happening on Tuesday and Wednesday there. We got some precipitation rolling in the form of showers. Possible showers on Tuesday with a high of 5, and Wednesday, possible flurries with a high of 4 degrees. Just when we thought we got rid of that stuff. The average for this time of year, the high would be 17 degrees and the average low is 3 degrees. The highest temperature on this day was back in 1943 with a temperature of 30 degrees. The lowest temperature was in 1950 with minus 7 degrees. The sun rose this morning at 7:34 a.m. and it's going to be setting at 7:07 this evening. Looking to the national forecast over on the west coast. British Columbia, we got Victoria over here with high of 13 degrees, chance of showers. Chance of showers also in Vancouver today with a high of 15. Up in Edmonton, we've got sunshine up there with a high of 13 degrees, high of 11 in Calgary with a mix of sun and cloud. Over on the prairies, Saskatoon, mix of sun and cloud as well, high of 13 degrees, high of 9 in Regina. We got some cloud coverage there as well. And a chance of showers over in Winnipeg with a high of 11 degrees. So lots of changes happening on the prairies this week. In Toronto, chance of showers, high of 13 degrees. Showers also in Ottawa, 10-degree high there. A 9-degree high up in Montreal with a mix of sun and cloud coverage over there as well. Over in the Maritimes, looking over to Fredericton, lots of sunshine there with a high of 12 degrees. High of 12 also in Halifax, sunshine. But what's happening up in Charlottetown? We got a mix of sun and cloud with a chance of showers, 10-degree high. And up in St. John's, Newfoundland, much the same. Chance of showers there with a little bit of sun, high of 8 degrees. That's your forecast. Here's a look at Community Calendar.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. Southern Alberta Crime Stoppers is holding their first ever 5K Color Fun Run on Saturday, October 19th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Legacy Regional Park in Lethbridge. All proceeds to go to Southern Alberta Crime Stoppers. For more information about the run and volunteer opportunities, email lcsa1983@gmail.com or visit Southern Alberta Crime Stoppers Facebook page. Come for an amazing time to the McNally Community Association's Tex-Mex Fiesta fundraiser on Saturday, October 19th at the McNally Community Center. The evening begins with dinner at 7 p.m. with entertainment at 8 and a dance at 8:30. Music provided by the Great Canadian Barn Dance Band. Plus, a silent auction and raffle draw will be taking place at the event. Tickets are $50 per person and can be purchased at Western Stockman. For more information, visit mcnallycommunity.ca. Men, young and old alike, are invited to come join the Lethbridge Christian Men's Choir. Practices are held every Thursday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. at Trinity Reformed Church. The choir practices are in preparation for Christmas and spring concerts, as well as occasional performances at the hospital and seniors' homes. For more information, call 403-328-7985. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.
Today's daily life hack is for those times when you need to have a heart-to-heart with someone. A great way to connect or have a deep conversation with someone is to take them on a scenic walk. Not being face-to-face takes a lot of pressure off, and the right scenery puts you in the mood to open up. That's your daily life hack. The Salvation Army has, for the very first time, opened up the Strawberry Fields Visitor Centre to the public in Liverpool, England, as well as giving the Beatles fans the very first chance to see the firsthand the iconic place that inspired John Lennon to write Strawberry Fields Forever. The Salvation Army will provide creative ways to give every person who visits the center the opportunity to explore the Christian faith.
The world-famous Strawberry Field in Liverpool, England, immortalised by the Beatles, has opened to the public for the first time thanks to the Salvation Army. For over 70 years, Beatles fans have only been able to stand outside the iconic Red Gate, but now they're able to enter the grounds and gardens that inspired John Lennon to write the 1967 classic hit Strawberry Fields Forever. As well as being able to access their famous gardens, visitors will be able to go to their cafe and a gift shop. And the main visitor attraction, though, will be a state-of-the-art exhibition created by the Salvation Army telling the story of Strawberry Field.
John Lennon found this a place where he used to come just to get space, and we're trying to capture that, but tell the history of the Salvation Army, tell the history of Strawberry Field, and also tell the connection between John Lennon and this place.
But the centre will also provide a major evangelistic opportunity for visitors to explore the Christian faith. Fresh Expressions leader for the centre, Lieutenant Louise Brown, and her team will be on hand for people to receive prayer in their dedicated prayer room, as well as be available if people have questions about what it means to follow Christ.
We may offer a space where people begin to wonder and explore about who this God is, because He's the whole reason why we're here. We're going to be engaging with people. Maybe nobody else in the church has had that opportunity to engage with them, and many people want to explore more. People are coming often to the gates because they're seeking. They're on a kind of pilgrimage looking for something, and they're looking for those gates. But as they come onto this site, we know they're going to experience so much more.
Proceeds from the site will help fund the Steps to Work programme, which supports local young people with learning disabilities, as their programme manager Alan Triggs explains.
So we work with young people 18 to 25 who have barriers to employment and mild to moderate learning difficulties, and we equip them really with the skills and the motivation to actually enter the job market. So we'll work with these individuals for 12 to 18 months, and by the end of the programme they'll be ready to apply for jobs then and gain sustainable, meaningful employment.
Mission Director for Strawberry Field, Major Kathy Versfeld, concluded by sharing her expectations that every person who comes through their doors will come away with a better understanding of eternal values.
One of the things that I would really like to be able to do is to engage with every visitor and to maybe invite them to think about the question of what does last forever. You know, John wrote Strawberry Fields Forever. Well, what lasts forever? You know, and start the conversation there. You know, we believe that God is here. God has blessed the mission of the Salvation Army since the 1930s here on this spot.
Peter Wooding for the Global News Alliance.
There is a political party which is very pro-life, and they're not shy about their message. Up next, Hal Roberts chats with the Lethbridge candidate with the Christian Heritage Party, Mark Slingerland, who has an interesting take on climate change. That interview is coming up after the break, so stay with us.